Ever thought Texas was just all cowboy hats and tumbleweeds? Well, buckle up, because scientists are stirring the pot with some mind-blowing revelations. It turns out the Lone Star State is hiding secrets bigger than its size. Forget what you've heard. We're about to unearth what's really going on in the vast landscapes of Texas. From whispering woods to silent mountains, there's a whole other world waiting beneath those famous Texan sunsets. Stay tuned as we round up astonishing finds that will have you seeing Texas in a whole new light. Number 1. The Aurora UFO Incident. Picture this. Texas, a land well-versed in tales of the Wild West, isn't just home to legends of cowboys and outlaws. Its canvas is splashed with stories that are, quite frankly, stellar in the most literal sense. Cast your minds back to a spring day in 1897, April 19th to be exact, a date etched into the memory of Aurora, a small town with a cosmic claim to fame. Now hold on to your cowboy hats, because what happened in Aurora might just tilt your scales of belief. Imagine looking up at the vast Texas sky and seeing a bright streak slicing through the air. This isn't a shooting star making a silent wish, but rather an event so bizarre that it has people scratching their heads for over a century. It's said that on that day, a mysterious craft plummeted to the earth, its final stop being a windmill on Judge Proctor's farm at the break of dawn. The local folks whispered of a ship from the stars, an honest-to-goodness UFO, and the whispers turned into stories passed down through the generations. And it gets wilder. The pilot, dressed in unfamiliar attire, didn't survive the crash and was reportedly not your average Joe or human for that matter. Some even whispered he might have been a Martian. The plot thickens as we learn that this intergalactic traveler was given a resting place right in the town's cemetery. Sure, the headstone's gone now, but the tale lingers. And that ship? Well, rumor has it that the remnants were heaved into a well beneath the very windmill that caught the craft's ill-fated descent. Detractors have tried to debunk the tale, suggesting it was conjured up to put Aurora on the map. Yet no one has managed to completely untangle the truth from the legend. Every attempt to debunk it just adds another layer to the mystery. Why has this incident been glossed over by mainstream history? Could this be a chapter of extraterrestrial evidence that's been kept under wraps? This account is more than just a footnote in Texan history. It's a story that cements Aurora's place as a nucleus of enigma and cosmic curiosity. So the question stands, was this a genuine close encounter, and if so, why has it been left in the shadows? The Aurora incident stands tall as a landmark of the unknown, an unsolved riddle in the storied landscape of Texas. Number 2, the Texas killing fields. In the heart of Texas lies a stretch of land that, instead of painting serene Texan landscapes, sketches scenes straight from a detective's cold case files. We're talking about a piece of land along Interstate Highway 45, a seemingly ordinary route that harbors an extraordinary and chilling reputation. This 25-acre patch in League City is far from the postcard-perfect imagery you'd expect. Its notoriety isn't due to picturesque sunsets, but rather its grim tapestry woven with unsolved crimes and chilling whispers from the past. Since the 1970s, this area has become the final chapter for over 30 young souls, with victims primarily being girls and young women ranging from ages 12 to 25. If only the soil beneath our feet could recount the tales, it would tell us of the horrors these victims endured in their last moments. The tales are as haunting as they are mystifying, with many of the victims sharing striking physical resemblances, from their hair color to their styles, almost as if they were selected by a sinister pattern. Despite exhaustive investigations by local police and even the FBI, most of these cases remain a mystery, with very few seeing any resolution. This place has earned a daunting title, dubbed by some as an almost perfect setting for committing the unthinkable and eluding capture. For the families yearning for answers, the ache for closure is a constant shadow, an elusive hope that one day the fog of these harrowing mysteries will lift. It's a fervent wish that justice will be served, peace will be granted to the lost, and solace found for those left in the wake of tragedy. As we delve into these silent stories, we hold on to hope that with advancing technology and persistent investigation, the truth will surface. The Texas killing fields are more than a sight of sorrow. They're a puzzle that we're determined to piece together, honoring the memories of those lost and standing with the families still seeking answers. Number 3, Marfa Lights. Imagine cruising through the arid expanse of West Texas when suddenly you spot something unusual. A glimmer in the distance catches your eye, No, it's not the expected twinkle of a star or the steady glow of a distant town. It's the Marfa ghost lights. These puzzling orbs of light have sparked curiosity, since a cowboy named Robert Ellison first reported them in 1883. Ellison might have guessed it was the flicker of an Apache campfire, but that theory quickly went up in smoke. No signs of a campsite were ever found. Fast forward to today, and these lights are still a hot topic. Some think it's just a natural atmospheric occurrence, or perhaps headlights from a far-off highway. But these rationalizations just don't satisfy the intrigue surrounding them. The lights dance on the horizon, seemingly teasing the minds of those who dare to solve their mystery. Could they be visitors from another world trying to signal us? Or is there a yet-to-be-understood natural explanation? The debate rages on, with enthusiasts from both the extraterrestrial and scientific communities scratching their heads. It's a genuine Texas-sized puzzle that makes the Marfa Lights more than just eerie specters of the night. They're an unsolved cipher. And as both scientists and supernatural sleuths continue to chase these elusive beams of light, the legend of Marfa's flickering enigma lives on, tickling the curiosity of professional investigators and casual observers alike. Today's subscriber pick, Texas, often envisioned as a vast stretch of nothing but tumbleweeds and cowboy hats, might just surprise you with its variety. This state is not a one-trick pony. It's a treasure chest of landscapes. In one corner, the Sam Houston National Park sprawls with its majestic trees and sparkling waters, playing host to a symphony of wildlife. It's like stepping into a different world, one where nature hums a tune of serenity. Flip the coin, and you have the grandeur of Palo Duro Canyon State Park, with its awe-inspiring rock formations that narrate tales of time itself. Then there's the stunning Santa Elena Canyon, where the cliffs rise like silent giants, guarding the secrets of the past. With each visit, these places etch a lasting image of Texas's true splendor. Far from the myth of a barren wasteland, Texas is a canvas painted with diverse strokes of nature's best elements. It beckons explorers and dreamers alike. So tell us, which of these Texan treasures is calling your name? Share your pick down below, and let's start planning the next adventure together. Number 4. Dietta sinkholes. Beneath the rugged beauty of Texas lies a silent, unpredictable phenomenon: sinkholes. Now, if you've ever had the ground quite literally open up under your feet, you'd know it's no joking matter. Picture this. A normal day suddenly turns into a scene from a suspense thriller when the earth starts to cave. Back in 2008, the folks in Dietta, a cozy town near Houston, experienced just that. A gigantic sinkhole yawned open, stretching an astonishing 600 feet wide and plunging 75 feet deep. It was so vast that it claimed the title of one of Texas's largest sinkholes. Interestingly, the town adapted, and this gaping chasm gradually filled with water, becoming an accidental pond that seemed to blend into the landscape for 15 years. Cut to April 2023. Just when everyone thought sinkholes had become a thing of the past, another colossal one appears as if out of a magician's hat, but with far less charm and much more dread. This new pit gobbled up everything in its path: trucks, farm gear, oil tanks, and even a stretch of woodland. A spectacle of destruction, accompanied by the chilling soundtrack of the Earth's groan, left the locals and experts alike stunned. These terrestrial voids are born out of an invisible process where groundwater plays the villain, quietly dissolving the bedrock until the surface gives way. Now, Texans are no strangers to handling their business, and measures are underway to keep these land-chomping monsters at bay. The Lone Star State is gearing up not just to tackle this subterranean menace, but to understand it. After all, knowledge is the best defense against the unexpected twists of Mother Nature. So have you ever wondered what's going on beneath the ground you're walking on? Share your thoughts, and let's dig deeper into the mysteries that lurk below. Number 5. Ghost towns. Let's mosey on over to Texas, where ghost towns scatter the landscape like memories of a time long past. You see, Texas isn't just about cowboys and barbecue. It's a historian's treasure trove. Ghost towns whisper tales of a booming era, now hushed to silence and left to the sands of time. Texas cradles these deserted spots across its vastness, mirroring the Wild West's heyday, complete with saloon doors swinging in the wind. Picture a town like Lobo, barely a blip along Highway 90 where a handful of souls call it home. Imagine stepping into a place that in the 1800s was a lifeline, the only splash of water for miles around in the parched desert. Nowadays, Lobo is more of a whisper of history than a hub of hustle and bustle. Or take Terlingua, perhaps the crown jewel of Texas's ghost towns. You've likely heard its name, synonymous with the rich mining past that once had it thriving. And don't forget about Glen Rio, Indianola, and Catarina. Each one of these towns stands frozen in time, a silent tribute to the industries that once fueled a nation's economy to towering heights. These ghostly locales are more than just a backdrop for eerie stories or the perfect set for a Western flick. They are the unsung monuments of the relentless pursuits of oil, mining, agriculture, and railroads. Each town has a story etched into its crumbling walls, a narrative that contributed to the United States' surge in economic prowess, anchoring it as a titan of wealth. So, as you walk the dusty roads of these ghost towns, you're literally stepping on the pages of American history. Now, wouldn't you be curious to hear the silent stories these towns are aching to tell? Drop a comment with the ghost town you'd visit first, and let's uncover the untold tales of the Wild West together. Number 6. Texas Archaeological Sites. Imagine stepping back in time where every patch of land tells a story that stretches back thousands, even millions of years. Texas, my friends, is not just oil rigs and cattle. It's a sprawling canvas of history hidden just beneath our feet. With over 65,000 archaeological sites, Texas is a treasure chest of ancient secrets waiting to be unlocked. Take a stroll through the past at the Alamo, where every excavation since 1966 has unearthed stories etched in time. Stories of courage and tumult that have shaped the course of history. And it's not just the tales of battles that whisper to us. The land itself is a narrative. Consider the limestone cliffs of Big Bend National Park, where settlers long gone have left behind pictographs, a visual diary of existence that we can only strive to fully understand. Then there's the Burro Mesa in the same park, a place that reveals the ingenuity of Native Americans, where a simple quarry unveils the craft of tool-making that has stood the test of time. Each site, each artifact, is a thread in the rich tapestry of the Lone Star State's past. It's awe-inspiring, isn't it? To think that beneath our modern strides, history lies preserved, just waiting to be rediscovered. What wonders and stories do these sites still hold? If these ancient lands could talk, what tales would they tell us? Share your thoughts, and if you've ever found a piece of the past, let's hear about it. And keep an eye out for our next journey into the heart of Texas history. Where do you think it should take us? Number 7. The Sugarland 95. Venture with me into a chapter of Texas history that might chill you to the bone. You might think of Texas as a place where the rugged meet the resilient, but beneath this tough exterior lies a story that's far more somber. It's 2018, and a typical day on a construction site morphs into a scene straight out of a crime novel. Workers, shoveling earth for what was to be Fort Bend ISD's new technical center, hit something unexpected, remnants of a past long buried. Here's where it gets eerie. A total of 95 souls were unearthed, each with their own silent story, lined in unmarked graves. Now you may wonder, what dark secrets did this soil hide? It didn't take long for the truth to start seeping out, a narrative steeped in oppression and exploitation, echoes of a grim chapter of American history. These were not just any remains. They were the bones of men who were thrust into a system of labor that was both cunning and cruel. Post the abolition of slavery, owning a person was against the law, but apparently, leasing one was not. These individuals, African-American men, were convicts leased out to toil on the sugar plantations. It was a loophole that reeked of injustice, disguised as a deal between the state and plantation owners. A twisted means to get cheap labor under the guise of legal punishment. And the conditions, as you can imagine, were far from humane. These men were more than just laborers. They were victims of relentless brutality. Investigations revealed that their bodies bore the evidence of diseases, multiple injuries, and some even carried the scars of gunshot wounds, possibly from desperate escape attempts. The Bullhead Camp, now etched in infamy, was a place of harsh labor and harsher treatment. Every bone told a story of suffering and a fight for survival against the odds. Fast forward to 2019, and a glimmer of justice shines through. The 95 individuals were laid to rest once more, this time with the respect they deserved, but were denied in life. Efforts to piece together their identities are ongoing, with DNA tests that might connect them to descendants who are unaware of their ancestors' fates. This grim discovery forces us to face the sins of the past, and it's a stark reminder that history, no matter how unsettling, demands to be acknowledged. It asks us to remember and reflect not just on the resilience of the human spirit, but also on the depths of cruelty that spirit has endured. Now I turn to you, my friends. What lessons can we take from this chapter of Texas's past, and how can we ensure that respect and dignity for all are not just words, but actions we live by? Share your thoughts and stay tuned for our next deep dive into the stories that make up the complex tapestry of America's history. Number 8. The Rock Walls of Rockwall, Texas. Picture this. You're in Rockwall County, Texas, and beneath your feet lies a puzzle that dates back to a time when the tales of cowboys were yet to be written. We're not spinning yarns of ghost towns or buried treasure, but we are digging into a mystery that's had head-scratching since the 1800s. It's about walls, but not the kind you're thinking of. These aren't barriers keeping things out or in. Instead, imagine rows of minerals, each stone long and lean, lined up like soldiers in formation. And here's the kicker. They're not a product of Mother Nature's whim. These stones, sandwiched by sediment, seem to scream handmade, suggesting they were laid down with purpose and precision. Since the discovery in 1852, these rock walls have been sparking conversations, with some saying, "Surely an ancient civilization's handiwork." But you know how stories go? Others just wag their heads and call it a tall Texas tale. Despite all the head-scratching and theorizing, nobody's quite cracked the code on the origins of these stone structures. It leaves us all wondering, is there an echo of an ancient society beneath the Lone Star State, or is there a down-to-earth explanation we're overlooking? The riddle remains, as unsolved as a lock without a key. But hey, that's the beauty of mysteries. They invite us to explore, to learn, and to imagine. So what do you think? Is there an undiscovered chapter of history waiting to be read under Texas? Or is it just an interesting quirk of geology? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you're intrigued, hit that subscribe button to join us on our next adventure into the unknown.